Hello, this is the Just Because Buzz, Thread Tales 25. I'm Merritt Crawford. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to be here today. And last time I met with you, it was 2 weeks ago, and I said I would try to do a video in 2 weeks, and today's the day. So it worked out. I'm so thankful. It's a fall day here, cool, and we've had a little bit of sun, but a little bit of overcast. Um, so I'm so happy to be back with you. I have some new subscribers, and thank you so much for subscribing. I really, really appreciate it. And I love all the comments that I've been getting and reading and responding to. It just makes my day when I read how someone has been encouraged or someone has enjoyed seeing some finishes, and maybe it inspires them as well. So if you know of other people that might be looking for a channel to watch, I would love for you to share my channel. Ask them to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notification as to when the next video is uploaded and ready for your viewing. I would love to have some new friends to meet. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's get into it. So I like to start with a little news and just kind of update what I've been up to. So today there was an estate sale close to my house, so my daughter and I went over there. And I've been looking at the pictures online prior to going, and it was kind of a mess. So I wasn't really sure what to expect when we got there. Sometimes they show pictures that aren't staged yet, and then they go back and stage the house, and it looks great. There was some milk glass in there that I was interested in, bud vases specifically. I'm going to be using those in my daughter's wedding as centerpieces. And so I've been trying to collect some milk glass bud vases especially. And I could see there was some in this home. This lady looked to have been a floral designer because there were tons and tons and tons of vases and containers for putting floral arrangements in, um, floral like wreaths and just all kinds of things that would be used by a floral designer, even cases of glass vases. So anyway, I knew that there were some milk glass vases, and that's my primary goal for going. So we went over there, and it was pretty busy, um, but it was not staged. It was completely junky. And that's okay. It was kind of like a pickers, if you like to get in there and pick a little bit, and you know, it's okay. So we found a few things and outside immediately, and then one of the things I found outside, actually Katie found it, was this little toy sewing machine. It's in pretty bad repair. You can see the rust on it. But my friend Louise and I think we might just investigate if it could be restored a little bit. She has one similar to this one that has the same logo, but the logo's down on the bottom here, and hers is in much better shape. But I thought it was cute, and I went ahead and picked it up and brought it home with me. And even if it can't be cleaned up too much more than this, um, I may have some ideas of what I could do with it to still display it. So, found that little treasure. And then the other thing I found was a piece of lace edge depression glass. And I have a special finish I want to do on this one. Not my traditional pincushions. If you've been on my channel before, you know I make pincushions using the lace edge milk glass. But I found this one. I've never seen one this small. I've bought these before in the bigger size, but this one is the sherbet size, and I've never seen a pink depression glass in the sherbet size in my area anyway. I just haven't had the opportunity to buy one this small. So I'll show you in a few minutes what I want to finish on this. So that was fun. And then I did find quite a few pieces of milk glass, and the lady gave me a deal on those. And I have already brought them home and washed them and put them on the shelf, and they'll be ready for me to pack up and take down to the wedding when it's time. So that was a fun morning. So the wedding things are kind of ramping up. I have a fitting in a couple of weeks for my dress, and then a week after that, I go down to Alabama for some bridal showers for my daughter. So that's exciting. My mom and dad are going to get to go, and my daughter Katie will get to go with us. So it's exciting. It's starting to get really real. I was standing there washing all that milk glass this morning and thinking, oh wow, this is really happening. So, and I took a picture of all the milk glass and sent it to my daughter so she could tell the florist and, you know, tell them what all is going to be available to them. So hopefully it's going to work out and it's going to look pretty. So my next floss tube, I plan to try to film on October 13th in 2 weeks. So again, I'm trying to stay with my 2 week schedule if at all possible. So I have a little shopping trip planned on the 11th with some stitchy friends. And so I'm excited about that. So I have a little something to share, maybe a little video of that. And we're going to do a portion of a shop hop. There is a shop hop going on in October for Ohio and one shop in Michigan. So Riverview Stitching in Michigan is going to participate. So we're going to go up to that shop and just play around, look around. I want to share with you an old finish. Last week I didn't, or 2 weeks ago I didn't. I shared some bee finishes, but today I'm going to share with you an older finish. I actually finished it last year. Some of you have already seen it, but I thought I would pull it out and show it again. It is a Stitches Through the Years piece, and I'm going to have to reach over and grab some things as I talk to you. So I'm going to show you the picture of the front of the pattern. This was a PDF download, and it's called Pumpkins for Sale, and it's Stitches Through the Years. She's got an Etsy shop, and I stitched this with Kathleen of Stitchuation Normal. Yes, she has a floss tube as well. So I wanted to show that to you. And so this is how I finished my piece. So I found this board at a thrift store, and I popped out the center and painted the board green, and then the center already had this burlap on it, so I didn't have to change that at all. And it's kind of padded. It was for like a memo board, something like that. And then I found this, I guess you would call it a ribbon, but it is a trim that I found at Hobby Lobby, and I had found this button in an estate sale find that I had purchased a button box. And then I stitched this on some blue even weave that I had in my stash, and I just love how it turned out, and I love the scene, and it's just a lot of fun. I'll hold it a little closer so you can see the stitching. The colors are beautiful. It's DMC colors, I believe, mostly DMC, but I just love how it turned out. This is one of the first pieces I did when I got back into cross stitching. Probably worked on it the fall of 2020, I believe. So that was a fun one. All right, so I have some new FFOs. I've been working hard to try to FFO things. I've had some of these finished for a while, even maybe over a year, and just needed to get done, spend some time on it. So the first thing is, let me show you the pattern first. Let's see. It is a Blackbird Design pattern. I don't think it's available anymore. I'm just not sure. I was told about it. It's a Hirschner pattern. It was a calendar, I believe. And so it is a Blackbird Design piece that's stitched on black fabric. It was like a 32 count, I believe, that I dyed because I didn't have any black at the time. It's all DMC, and then it has the wool tongues that you use to decorate the sides to make the mat. So I finally got that fully finished, so I'm so excited about that. And here it is. I shared it on my Instagram. I thought I would share it with you as well. And it's just one of my favorite finishes I've ever done. It is just really fun. And I used the wool that I had in my stash. And then I used a piece of black on the back. Just black wool that I found probably at an estate sale or either bought it, I'm not sure, from a vendor at a show. But it was in my stash. But this was a fun piece to finish. I really enjoyed it. My next FFO is a pattern that I received at a Blackbird Design retreat last year when Miss Alma came to Craft Gallery in Findlay, Ohio. And this pattern has not been released yet, but I would think that it would be eventually. I just don't know when. But it's called Fall Gatherings. And she had a different finish for us to complete this piece, which was kind of fun. My understanding in past Blackbird retreats that people have attended, you usually get to paint something, and that was this case with this retreat too. So this is my little guy, and he's on a box, and we painted the box in our class and then started stitching on him. And then I put it together, used some rickrack that I had in my stash to go around the edge, and it's just a cute little box. And I put enough batting in the top to be able to put a few pins, stick it through just a little bit. So he's cute. So hopefully that one will be released soon, or maybe there'll be another fall book. Wouldn't that be fun? And then the next one is also from that retreat. It's called Bittersweet Acorn, and that's this one. And I decided to finish it just like this one. Alma gave us the kit to finish either the squirrel or this one in the little drum. So I decided to do this one as the drum. And here's my finish. And so this one has the Jersey Stitch Co. pins in it. And these are made by Teresa and Anna, mother-daughter team, and I just love them, and they're beautiful. I knew when I saw that squirrel and the fall vibes of these pins that I wanted to purchase these. So they're beautiful, Teresa and Anna. Thank you so much. And they sponsored a giveaway I have today, so I want to share that in a bit. We'll talk about those. But there's the top of my drum, and then this beautiful rayon ribbon for the side. I love how that one turned out. Pretty excited about that one. And then my next FFO is also a drum. I was on a drum roll. What can I say? So, Winds of Autumn. Couldn't help it, y'all. Winds of Autumn. Kind of working through the smalls in this book because I'm halfway through. I've done half of the projects in this book, but some of the rest of them are pretty big, so it may take me a while to go through the rest. But anyway, so it's called Autumn Sound, and it's this one. And unbeknownst to me, I started it one Friday night, and my friend Celeste with Celeste Creates popped on either our text feed or Instagram, I can't remember, and she said, I'm stitching this with my friend Chrissy, and I said, I just started that too, and it was just funny. And then Annie, the proper stitcher, she started it. So there's a bunch of us that have worked on this and or finished it, and I got mine finished. And I'm so excited. I love this one too. So there it is. And had some fabric in my stash, so that's what I used for my fabric. I thought it liked the blues and the tan. And then some buttons from a button box that I purchased in an estate sale. And then this little candle holder comes from Hobby Lobby, and that's what was recommended in the book. So, Autumn Sound and Winds of Autumn. All right. So those are my FFOs. Next, I'm going to share with you my FOs. So some things that I finished. And the first thing I'm pretty excited about is H. Faulkner, and that is by Priscilla's Pocket, 1866. A friend of mine let me borrow this. And here's my finish. And I forgot to bring a board in here. Well, I think you can see it pretty good though. I'm very pleased with how it came out, so I just need to find a frame for it. And I wanted to share something with you that kind of made me think about when we buy a fat quarter of fabric and we think, well, how many projects could I possibly get out of a fat quarter? Sometimes we know exactly that we could get a big sampler if we're doing a really large sampler or something like that. But then other times we're just like, well, I'm not sure how many projects I would even get out of it. And this was stitched on 36 count Brea by Needle and Flax, Rachel. She lives up in northern Michigan. And so I want to show you on a board what the other 3 pieces look like using the same fabric out of that same fat quarter. And that way you can maybe get an idea of how many projects potentially. I mean, we know it just depends on the size of the project. So I put this board together. It's kind of big, so I'm gonna have to kind of lean over. It's really gonna get blown out. That's a really good representation of it. So I was able to get all 4 of these pieces. So my Harriet piece, or my H. Faulkner, it's Harriet. I don't know if that's her name or not. H. Faulkner. This is a Blackbird Design from the Sewing Club book, Tiny Treetops. So it's the pattern on the back of the Sewing Club book. And then this is, I believe it's my Quaker House. And this is also a Blackbird Design book, but it's out of print that a friend let me borrow. And then this is Chubby Bird by Jeanette Douglas. So I was able to get 4 projects out of this one fat quarter with plenty of room for framing and finishing. And this is what I'm going to finish in the little sherbet cup if I can work it out to fit and still use my lace edge. But I think I can. So I just thought that I would share that. I thought that might be fun to just kind of see. I mean, they're not huge projects, but I was able to get 4 projects out of one fat quarter. So when you're investing in fabric, you're often wondering, you know, how many projects can I get out of this? And I feel like that was a worthwhile investment, that I got 4 projects out of that one fat quarter. Okay, so next, the other project that I had a FO on, I finished, was an adaptation of this chart. So this is Ye Old Crow by Heart and Hand. And I didn't have a piece of fabric that I thought would look good with this large enough to do the whole thing. So I had a scrap of fabric that I had been gifted from the Country Stitchers in a giveaway that I won. And I thought it would look really good on this. So I'll show you what I wound up doing. So I finished it on this little burnt orange fabric. And I just love how it turned out. And I just kind of made my own border. This fabric's a little, it was probably not cut straight, but I think I'll be able to make a cute little pin pillow or something like that with it. And the color of floss that I used is Gentle Art Black Licorice is what I used. And this is, I believe I counted it was 32 count, and I just did 1 over. I didn't like it. I started out doing 2 over 2 and I didn't like it. It was too thick. And so I went back and just did 1 over 2, and I really like how it looks. So I'll finish that into probably a pin pillow for a dough bowl or something like that. All right. For a minute here, I'm going to do some shout outs. So I have the So-and-So. So this is Nancy and Kathy, and I really enjoyed watching their last floss tube. I had sent them some happy mail. Kathy had won my last giveaway, and so I mailed her the little bee that I showed last time, and then I put a couple of little surprises in there for them. And so it was fun to see them share. And they said it was their first happy mail, so that was fun to see. And then Linen and Scraps, Molly and Kathy, they're a lot of fun to watch. If you're not watching them, they're out of El Paso, Texas, and they are just a blast to watch. And so talented. Both of them are just super, super talented and fun to watch. And I laugh at them. Annie the Proper Stitcher. Congratulations, Annie. She has hit 10,000 subscribers. That is fantastic. She has a wonderful channel. If you're not watching her, you should. She has beautiful projects and just so enthusiastic, and she quilts as well, and just a sweetheart, and has a great channel. So congratulations, Annie. That's just wonderful. And then my friend Celeste Creates and Kim Goldman, they both have channels. Kim is the Contented Stitcher, and Celeste is Celeste Creates, and you should be watching them as well. Okay, on to whips. So my first whip that I'm going to show you is my Consider the Lilies, and it's out of this book by Heartstring Samplery, Beth Twist. And I work on this on Sundays. And I have it in my fabric roll. And I need to make another one. I really like this. Some people use the fabric rolls just to keep their finished pieces in until they're ready to frame or get them FFO'd. But I've used it to keep this one clean, somewhat clean. Alright, so here's the mass of floss that I have set aside for Consider the Lilies. A combination of DMC and some fancy floss. So it's a pretty big piece, as you know, and I've been mainly working up here. So I finished this big motif since we last visited, and then worked my way with the little cherries and the 3 trees. And then there's a little bird over here, so I'm looking forward to getting to that. And then need to start putting these lilies in and go on around the edge. But just about all the way across the top. So I'm enjoying that. Okay, the next one that I worked on is, I really need to get going on this. We're getting close to Christmas, and it is the Blackbird Design stockings that I've been stitching with Kim the Contented Stitcher. And I am stitching these out of the Blackbird Design Home for the Holidays. And I am stitching the second to last one. This is stocking 4, called Holly and Ivy. And my tree is red and white, and so I chose white fabric. And I'm using the called for threads. And I kind of have them pinned on here, so I'm just going to leave them. So that's where I am. The reds are pretty dark, but they're very pretty. And so I think once I get them finished and get the fabric on them and get them lined, I think they'll be really, really pretty. But I also like them, how they did them in the book too, with the tan fabric. So I like those too. So who knows, I might stitch them again because they're just so pretty in the tan fabric too. And the reds really, they just look different on that fabric. It's a testament to different fabrics, and different threads look different altogether. All right, the next one I'm going to share with you is, it is a sampler that was shared by Mama Loves You GB, Michelle, and I think that's right. Anyway, she found this unfinished sampler, and she named it Unfinished Sampler Series #1 Maud. And I'm just going to show you a portion so you can just see. It's free, but I stitched the alphabet and the numbers and the heart, and the heart is something I added. I think I added the number. No, did I add the numbers? Yeah, I added the numbers. Anyway, I ran out of thread, so I'm going to have to probably get one more skein of cayenne to try to finish. But I've just been adding motifs out of the Brenda Keyes book, and just motifs that I liked, and probably some of the empty space, like the empty space over here, down here close to the scissors. I may put some buttons, antique buttons, but I do want to fill in with some more motifs in this area. But I just put in things that I thought were fun and just different. This was a motif that I was trying to do like a quilt block, and I didn't count correctly, and so I had to just change it, and so I don't know what that is. It's just my mistake that I tried to fix. It was supposed to have an initial in there, and it was supposed to have like a star block all the way around. But oh well. So y'all know I'm at a new stitchy spot. This is the second video, and I'm still trying to figure out where to show y'all things. So anyway, I'm going to add some more motifs to this, and after I get my thread, which is on order. And the book that I've been using to add the motifs is this book. And it's got so many great motifs in it. And I've just been stitching them straight in red. Now, she does have a color key in here that you can use, but I've just been doing the red. All right, so that's what I've been working on since I last saw you. This is my little book of recording what I've been stitching on, and so my September is pretty busy. Stitched almost every day, and I cannot believe Saturday is October. Which brings me to my next little visit with you. We're going to talk about perforated paper for a moment. The Saturday Stitchers, which is Kim Goldman and Celeste and April Heirlooms, so, and myself, we occasionally, usually on a Saturday, get together and Zoom. And this Saturday we are going to do that, and we're going to do a perforated paper piece, and at Kim's request. So I have my perforated paper I showed you last time. And what we're going to use for the hashtag to show on Instagram, if you want to join us, we'd love for you to join us, is just hashtag perforated paper Sal. I looked it up. I didn't see anything that pertained to that Sal in any way, or that name in any way. So just perforated paper Sal, and we'll be able to see what you're stitching on. So I likely will use the brown paper that I have. And what we've decided is A Heart Remembers, which is a Blackbird design. The four of us are going to stitch the same design, but we're not going to share how we're going to finish it. We're going to let that be a surprise. Finish it and then have a reveal, either in person, if we can get together next year in person, or we'll decide how we're going to reveal it to one another. So it's this book is what we're using. You can use anything. And then we're going to stitch this bird, and this is the sampler in here. A Heart Remembers, the same name as the book, the sampler. So we're stitching the bird at the very top of the sampler. So I'm very excited about that, to get to see them on Saturday via Zoom and start a perforated paper piece. I enjoy stitching on perforated paper. I've done quite a bit. I've shown you quite a few things, mainly the little pins that I've made into needle minders, but some of the little Mill Hill, which are all Mill Hill, and then some other Mill Hill pieces too. So I'm looking forward to that. So can't wait, girls. That's going to be fun. So that'll be a new start. And then I wanted to share one more thing. I found this book this morning when I was down in the basement looking for something else. You know how that goes. And I'm a dietitian. I think I've shared that with you all before. And a friend of mine, in fact, she was one of my college roommates, gave me this book, and it's called Practical Dietetics. But look at this fabric on here. It's a blue and tan ticking. Wouldn't that be a fun finish? I immediately thought, oh, I could use that for a finish. And I wouldn't cover up this. I would either go down here with a small finish or do it on the back, so I could still have my... but it's got recipes in it. Let's see. This says copyrighted June of 1903. So it's a pretty old book. So I thought that would be a fun finish. So I had to share that with you. All right, so now I'm going to do the giveaway. And so I will insert the pictures of the ladies that won when I did the random comment picker generator. And the first one is Daniela. And Daniela won the Jersey Girl Stitch Co. blue pin set. You had to use the word blue in your comment. So Daniela, and I can't read my writing, but I think it's Drexan. Daniela Drexan. So I'll comment on your comment, and then you can let me know what your address is so I can get that in the mail to you. And then the orange set is from Puntini, Paola. And on the back there's her information. She has the cutest little pins. And so my winner for this one is Elizabeth Conley. So Elizabeth, again, I'll comment on your comments, and then you can send me your information and I can get these in the mail to you. So congratulations. And the next time we make a milestone with our subscribers, we'll go to another giveaway. I do have a special giveaway for 1,000, and I shared that last week with a Bristol sampler. So maybe we'll get to 1,000 before the end of the year. What do you say? Let's try to get there. All right, I'm going to share a scripture with you. So if you are here for the stitching, that's all the stitching, but I would love for you to stay for the scripture. I shared out of the Psalms last time. It's Psalm 16, and I thought I would share one more verse out of that chapter. It's the last verse, and it's Psalm 16:11. Thou wilt make known to me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. In thy right hand there are pleasures forever. Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much for being with me today. I really enjoy visiting with you all and reading your comments. So keep commenting and share with me anything that, if you have a question or if you saw something you liked and you're having trouble finding it, let me know. Or if you'd like to see a tutorial or you have a question about a finish or something like that, let me know. I'd love to help you out. Until next time, take care and be well.